Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to One More Take. I'm Daniel Court, your host. Today I'm joined by an absolute onslaught of heavy hitters in the film industry here in Perth, Western Australia. We have Colby, Cooper, and of course, the great Scott Kunesch. How's everybody doing?
Doing really good, Dan. Happy to be here.
Well, yeah, you know I've been today.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
I do know exactly where Colby's been today. And Coops,
I've been slaving away this morning.
working for the man,
That's it,
making that money.
for sure.
Now, on the pod, we talk about specific things, but we also talk about broad things. We talk about lots of things. We love a tangent.
We do like our things.
We love a thing. We love extra topics.
Oh, yeah.
As always, what have we been watching recently? Scott, what have you been watching?
Okay, so I watched a film called The Hotspot, which is it's an early 90s film noir,
Sweet.
a neo-noir. It's really good. It's got a young Jennifer Connelly,
Ooh.
some other woman who I've forgotten her name, and the lead
Virginia.
from, was it Miami Vice? What's his name?
Don Cheadle?
No, not Don Cheadle.
Oh, you're talking Don Johnson.
Don Johnson, that's it.
Classic.
And yeah, it's just one of those sweaty New Orleans kind of noir films. And
Wicked.
anyway, it was a bit of a gem. I'd never seen it.
Yeah.
Fucking loved it.
What's it called?
The Hotspot.
The Hotspot.
And not that it's... Look, anyway, Jennifer Connelly, right? You guys all rate her as an
Big
actress.
time.
Obviously,
Oh, yeah.
her acting ability.
She is gorgeous.
She's fucking stunning.
She's a smoke
Stunningly
show.
good actor in this
Yeah.
film is what I'll say.
Okay.
That's a code. And and she let's say she bears all. She just bears her soul in her performance.
Everything.
And I was like, wow, early days Jennifer Connelly just doing her thing as an actress
Fuck yeah.
and acting ability.
All right.
She gets naked.
Add that to the... adding it to the list. Who doesn't like Jennifer?
Jennifer
Words.
Connelly.
Jennifer Connelly. It's a tricky name. Colby, what have you been watching?
I watched Terminator 1 and 2.
Oh, a little double feature.
Yeah, I love the Terminator 2, my favorite of the franchise. It is,
Banger.
Terminator 1 is really good and iconic, but I think Terminator 2 is just,
It's like they hit their stride.
they hit their stride and then
Yeah.
it fell off after that.
And it
You
fell off.
have 3, Salvation,
Well, yeah, there only are
Genesis,
2
then
Terminator
Dark
films.
Fate. Oh my god.
Aren't half the sequels after that just based off Terminator 2 that don't go into their own timeline or anything?
No. So you have Terminator 3, which continues, and Terminator 4 Salvation continues. Genesis
That
does a
does, okay.
reboot from the original movie,
Right.
but then that kind of gets scrapped with Terminator Dark Fate, which takes place after the second. So like the second one, John kind of is like, oh yeah, he's back, and then he just gets fucking shot by the Terminator.
It was Dark Fate I was thinking
Yeah.
of, yeah, just
Yeah.
completely.
And they really shot themselves in the foot doing the whole time travel thing because then it just got too far
Well,
up
it was
its own arse,
like you were saying, it's a perfect 1-2 punch, and then
Yeah.
get out. Like you've made your
Yeah.
your
You've
story.
done it.
There's nothing more to tell.
Yeah, you finished.
And I also watched Iron Man 2.
You will double stuff.
Yeah.
All right. Coops, what do you got? What have you been watching?
I went and watched Batman Begins and The Dark Knight.
Nice.
Ooh, nice.
Nice.
Honestly, I think I like Batman Begins just a tad more.
Yeah.
You're in
Just
good
a tad
company.
Yeah.
more.
Good company.
Great.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a really, really good film.
Oh, yeah. No.
Such an probably one of the best origin superhero films ever.
It surprisingly for Batman adaptations, it goes into a lot of the subtext with Batman.
Yeah.
Like that, that the 79 film kind of ignores, his obsession with bats and
Yeah.
where those deep-seated fears come from, and I kind of fuck with that.
Well, he doesn't put the suit on for
Oh yeah, no, it earns
an
that.
hour and 40 minutes.
It was
or
like their
something.
first. It was like the first Batman movie of like the modern Batman movies,
Yeah.
including like the Tim Burton ones that actually had his introduction.
Yeah, in long form,
Yeah.
not just like a montage or
Yeah,
something.
it certainly earned the begins in the title.
It did, yeah. Recently, I've been watching a lot of TV. We've been cranking through. Me and the missus have been watching a show called The Rookie, which
Nathan
is
Fillion.
Nathan Fillion. It is surprisingly good. Like I've seen some clips and stuff online, and I was like, "Oh, this looks kind of fun, but a little cringe as well." Nah, it's actually it's very, very addictive and very, very fun to watch, and it's cool to kind of watch a cop show that's got good action, good drama, a little bit of heart, but like heaps of levity as well. So it's done really, really good. And then I've been watching Archer because I haven't seen that in ages. So I've been rewatching that. Yeah, Archer's brilliant. Which brings me to our meat and potatoes, our main topic for the day. A pretty iconic film, a film that more or less started one of the highest grossing film franchises of all time, Iron Man. Robert Downey Jr. coming off of a hectic beginning of his career, sex, drugs, and rock and roll, and then boom.
The real life Tony Stark.
Just, blowing up. Which I think we should kind of work our way through the film chronologically, because there's something I picked up on. It's been a long time since I've seen Iron Man 1 that really threw me off, particularly because I know Disney and I understand Marvel in the context of today. And that is Tony Stark at the start of this movie is the biggest piece of shit. He is like objectively the worst person.
Misogynist all the way. He's made all of his money off war and he's okay with it.
Like it was hard for me to watch because he was, and like, even, you know, he's interacting with that reporter at the start of the movie and
like superheroes actually fuck in these early
my god. Like it was so nice. You know, you've got Jon Favreau who plays Happy. He's standing there and then Tony's kind of like, is she cute? He's like, yeah, he's cute. Yeah, she's cute. You should go and chat to her. I was like, this wouldn't fly. They would not fucking make this movie today. Like, there's no chance a Disney executive would read that first like 10 pages of the script and go, yeah. This is our guy.
It would not pass the Disney censorship
it's because
ratings.
it was before Disney, right? Like Disney didn't acquire Marvel for
True.
another 4 or so movies. Yeah.
So was Marvel its own studio before that acquisition?
It was Marvel Studios.
Yeah,
Okay.
they took out a loan and they bet it all on basically Iron Man and the Incredible Hulk. And then Iron Man was a smash hit. Hulk kind of limped out of the box office, but it was enough to keep traction.
Yeah.
And then as soon as they hit the Avengers, they were fine. Good to
Right.
go. Disney came in, then it became Disney's Marvel, and yeah, it's been history.
'Cause
Whatever that what's that saying?
And the rest is history.
There we go. Thank you.
Because like it does feel very deliberate. Like they knew that they were planning this big crazy franchise.
They hinted at the end.
They do to skip to the extreme end of.
So you don't want to do it
thing.
chronologically.
No, I'm not going to do it chronologically. but yeah, there's that post credit sequence which we'll talk about in a little bit. But they do very much so go like, no, we're committing.
They had a plan the whole time, but
Yeah.
I would also argue a very loose plan.
Extremely.
I mean, they didn't even know. Here's the thing, right? Do you know about the Battle of the Tone for the MCU?
No.
So, when was the last time you guys watched The Incredible Hulk, the Edward Norton one?
Well, it's been a minute, but I watched it a lot.
Okay,
'cause
so
I
it's
like
it's
that
really
movie.
somber, dry. No one's
Yeah.
joking around. It's it's like the other side of the coin of superhero films.
Correct.
And obviously Iron Man won out, and that's why now every character in the MCU has the same personality,
Yes.
and they all joke around and stuff. But there was a time when the MCU could have been a bit more like grounded and darker
Gritty.
and
Yeah.
introspective and good.
Yeah.
No, it's a great franchise.
Because that's one of the things that I think is interesting to kind of put Iron Man next to the Incredible Hulk is like, well, I mean, Edward Norton's a very different actor to Robert Downey Jr. Because I actually really like the Incredible Hulk. I think that movie's actually pretty good. I think there's definitely it's got some holes in it, but I don't know. I thought it was kind of fun to watch Edward Norton play a superhero. I think it's partly because we're very used to seeing him play these super heady roles.
Back then it was interesting as well, yeah, because it's
Yeah.
like seeing like a really respected actor play the Hulk.
Yeah,
So-
yeah. Which, you know, for the most part, had only really been played by Eric Banner.
And he wasn't of the same caliber. Like, I love
No.
Eric Banner, but
Yeah.
he'd just been coming off, Chopper and stuff like that.
yeah, it was a different time.
Excuse me, Lou Ferrigno, please.
I was going to say Lou Ferrigno.
Yeah, but
was-
that's TV. That's the silver screen.
It's a different.
I'm sure they made a movie about that.
They did actually. They made a TV movie, and it starred Daredevil and Thor.
Fuck
in very
off.
early incarnation.
I've seen that.
Yeah,
that
and
is
it's fucking
Thor.
horrible. Like, it's not, you don't need to go watch it, but yeah.
Trust us.
Because I was just like watching the start of Iron Man. I'm there on the couch, and Katie's watching it with me, and it was just like it made me kind of cringe a little bit because I was like sitting there next to my girlfriend, and we're watching this movie, and then he keeps saying all this like really gnarly kind of misogynist stuff, and just like a lot of sexualization, like him and Rhodey on the aeroplane.
So
at the
refreshing.
start.
when those stewards
yeah.
come out and start dancing.
Yeah, and then
It
the
feels
stripper
so
pole
weird
comes out of the
watching
ground.
that. I'm like, this is
See,
not MCU,
I was
man.
like, what were they? What
No,
were
but
they
see,
thinking?
I had the biggest smile on my face. Like, that takes me back to a simpler time.
Yeah.
I'm not a misogynist, but like
Yeah.
we've progressed so far now that it's refreshing to just remember when things were just like
silly and
not.
fun.
They weren't. Nothing was safe. It was just
Yeah.
like this guy wanted to do this in this film.
Yeah.
He did it. Nowadays, everything's so like calibrated and
Calculated.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It was kind of nice nice just to watch a movie. That
Yeah, it
was
felt like a film. I was like, this isn't
Yeah.
like a piece of the puzzle. This is
Yeah.
a film, standalone. This is what it's
Correct.
doing.
Yeah, it was just like, I don't give a fuck, and we're just gonna go all in.
100%.
It was
Yeah.
so refreshing.
Yeah, it's just
Yeah.
like I had a smile on my face. I was like, yeah, that's right. Like
Yeah.
before they just became like these connecting. What do you call it? Lego? I'm going to use
Yeah.
the word Lego.
That's it. It sort of, and I think that's a cool way to think about it. Is like, in a weird way, they had to compromise some of the filmmaking fun of it to
100%.
like serve the grand story that was sort of over the top of everything else. Because you're right, it is in the context of the time, it's this kind of hilarious sequence where you're like, okay, yeah, we get it. He's kind of a rock star.
That
kind
is
of
Tony
attitude.
Stark. Do you know what I mean? And it's like they actually, the reason his arc even works is because they started from there.
Yes.
So to get by the end, it is a complete arc.
Yeah.
Whereas some of the other guys, when they come in with their first movie in Phase 3 or whatever, they're already now all polished, all the rough edges are shaped. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Everyone just fits in perfectly.
It's so
They're like
clean.
instantly lovable. What a great hero. No one's flawed. Everyone's joking when they get and throw girders and shit at
Yeah,
them. Like,
because I think, and you've mentioned this in conversation before, where like you kind of like the Captain America character because he is so good. Like there's no rough edges
For
on
me,
him.
because I'm obviously older than the Christopher Reeve Superman, but to me it feels like what that must have felt like for people where I was like, yeah, you know what? I usually like my fucking edgy, broken, like drinking from the bottle superheroes, but I was like, I fucking actually kind of like the Boy Scout model now.
That's it.
Like it's refreshing because everyone's so quippy and like, I don't give a fuck and sardonic sense of humor. And I was like, oh yeah, like an actual honest to good hero. Like,
Yeah,
plus his movies are fucking good. They're like the best in the franchise.
and I think like I agree. The way Robert Downey Jr. played Tony Stark in this film, it set that tone, but then like Chris Evans with Captain America kind of broke that tone as well. But I've also noticed, apart from maybe the Hulk, Mark Ruffalo's Hulk, who really never got his own standalone film, like he's the only Boy Scout. The rest of them are all kind of that edgy, jokey, silly,
and that's why I think
camp.
it's like he just shines the brightest in the sense that I'm like, it just feels different. It feels like he's doing his own thing.
Yeah, 100%.
But we're not here to talk about Captain America.
No, we aren't. No, that's another pod entirely. Excuse me. There's a little technical issue there with my foot. So there's some pretty big actors in this film. Jeff Bridges definitely being a takeaway because I reckon he's awesome in this movie.
For 2 acts of the film, he is amazing.
Yeah. See, are you referring to when he hops in the suit?
Yeah, and when they go, bye, Jeff Bridges.
Yeah. And it's just a CGI
The
fight.
Ironmonger or whatever it is.
Yeah,
Warmonger.
Warmonger.
Okay, because I was thinking about that. I was like, is he? Because I don't know that much about the comic side of things. But
I'm glad you asked. So in 1959.
Excellent.
I have no idea.
But like, is he a character from the comics? Warmonger
Must be, right?
Like,
At the very least, I know he was in the Armored Adventures show.
It's Ironmonger.
Yeah,
Ironmonger.
but is Jebediah Stone, like the actual character he
Stain.
plays, Stain? Is it not Stone?
Jebediah
Wow,
Stain.
how embarrassing.
Yeah. Wow, did
know.
you even watch the movie?
That's my pod. I actually
Obadiah Stain, actually. Yeah.
I like.
Obadiah.
I also like. how in
Obadiah. What
Endgame-
did I say? Obadiah Stone.
Obadiah
Stone.
Jebediah. You know what? I like mine more.
Yeah.
Honestly, better name.
I like how in Endgame they kind of fuck it up because they have Tony mention The Big Lebowski, which stars Jeff Bridges as Big Lebowski.
It's like they totally could have had a little wink
Yeah.
there. They're too far apart. People wouldn't have remembered
Yeah.
Iron Man 1
I know.
by the time Iron
Yeah, no one
Man
would remember, but
50
it's a
comes
funny.
out.
It's like, oh yeah, they mentioned the character that's already in the MCU.
And I mean, these films aren't exactly grounded. So
No.
it's not like...
No, and this was, and to be fair, this was like the first. This was the one.
Well,
that
no, sorry, it wasn't actually the first MCU film. No, that would be Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man 1.
they
technically.
Well, he's been retconned in now, so
Oh, he has been.
if you really think about it,
canonically,
yeah, canonically.
Actually, you know what I think about it? No, there's a
Here we
lot
go.
of things because they have like Sam Jackson as Nick Fury, but they mentioned Star Wars and all that. There's
Yeah.
so many things. Where it
Actually,
does
can I
it.
take that back? Blade now would technically be
Yeah.
the first.
True.
Yeah, because I'm
Technically,
assuming everyone's seen Deadpool versus Wolverine.
well, if you haven't,
we all have.
Too bad.
yeah,
That's good then.
Yeah.
I would have felt bad then.
But yeah, no, it's one of those weird things where it's become this giant monster where they're now like just like I think they're kind of in a weird way trying to consolidate all of the they bought Fox and they're like cool, now we can bring X-Men back into it and they're now sort of like consolidating all the characters, and it makes me feel like they're planning for something quite grand, but I'm also like it's going to be a 12.5-hour movie.
No, I reckon the end of 6th phase, then they're out. Kevin Feige walks away. It's like
and it's over.
It's over for a bit. Like they'll find a way to redo it, but this era of 20 years or whatever we've known, I think they've realized they double dipped by going into 4, 5, and 6, and I think they're going to try and finish on a high and then back off.
And then
They are, because they've separated into the Infinity Saga and now it's the Multiverse Saga.
But I do reckon they won't go then like, no, another saga. They'll have to like pause it for like 5 years, let people want it to come back.
And then
Actually
the
have a
remakes
think.
start coming out.
Yeah, no, but exactly. And then there'll be like a new cast Iron Man and shit.
Yeah.
Let's go again.
Yeah, they absolutely need to do that. I'm so sick of all these interconnected
It's
movies.
so unwieldy. Like there's a fucking
and TV shows
Werewolf
and-
by Night. What's that?
Yeah.
Do I have to watch it?
It's at the
Agatha
point,
all along. What's
Yeah.
going on?
No, literally, because I'm like, do I need to understand Spider-Man? Like, I think I get him.
Is it really that complicated? Yeah, 100%. Because it is. It is experiencing some of that bloat, and I think that's something that's quite charming about this film is that none of those stakes were there. So I don't know. It felt like they were just having way more fun with the whole superhero thing. Like there's that
It felt less extravagant. It's like
Yeah.
more down to earth, because rather
Yeah.
than everything being here's a alien or they've been to space or
Yeah.
this massive thing, it's
Yeah.
this guy built a suit
Terrorists.
it's just in Los
Yeah.
Angeles
Yeah.
and it's normal terrorist stuff, not some super big army from
Yeah.
outer space.
I mean, do you remember the great set piece where he takes out a tank?
Oh, but that's exactly what I was gonna say.
No, but yeah, that's the kind of small scale stuff that's in this film.
It's
like.
so beautiful.
And that's a moment, you know?
Yeah.
It's him walking away and we're like, fuck yeah. And you think about we end up in Endgame.
Yeah, you're
No,
like,
everyone
whoa.
like, cool man, you took out a tank. Let's
Yeah.
go. Like,
Yeah, yeah.
it's so quaint by comparison.
With
It's
that-
so
It
great.
is.
It's nothing.
Yeah.
You like
the
that's-
sound design is so much better for the suits in these ones.
Oh, the suits never looked better than Iron Man 1.
Yeah,
They
I
actually
agree.
have like a physical on-set suit.
Yes.
It looks great.
You can see them in the suit.
Yeah.
Like-
I'm pretty sure they started CGIing it in because Robert basically said, "I fucking hate the helmet."
Oh,
Just
I don't
CGI
blame
that
him.
in."
Yeah, and then he's got his nanobots thing, and so does Pete. Like everyone
Yeah.
does, and it's like, okay, magic suit,
Because I
suit activate.
even kind of noticed that on characters where it's like, come on, you could just make a fucking suit.
everyone.
like the Ant-Man helmets and
The
all that. It's
Ant-Man
like
helmet.
Mark
why
Ruffalo's
do
little
you have
head
nanotech?
poking out of the fucking Iron Man armor. Yeah.
It's just like, guys, we like you have unlimited money. You have unlimited. You're Disney. You have unlimited.
But they know
money.
we'll go watch it. We don't care. We just need enough to stimulate our minds so that we
That's
go,
it.
I believe it.
Yeah.
It looks good enough.
Because there were even times in sorry to once again keep sort of pushing us off Iron Man, but in Deadpool, I was like, fuck, just like you have the suit. There are scenes when it's clearly Ryan Reynolds wearing the fucking suit. Why have you CGI'd him here? Like
There's
put him on ropes or something.
There's
Like,
a whole shot where it's just CGI Wolverine.
I saw that. But
yeah,
I
when he
think-
jumps out of the bus.
But isn't that? I think that's supposed to be a joke because they like when he jumped out of the bus and he was all like kind of low res shitty CGI. I was reading a thing and it was like, oh yeah, that's because he's doing this thing and it was a callback from this film and it was just another joke. I'm like,
Or
but it
they
looks
ran
shit.
out of time and
Yeah.
the special effects artists were like, hey, maybe it's a joke.
remember that time it looked shit? Yeah, let's just do that again.
It's Deadpool. No one will give a shit.
Yeah, no one cares. It's hilarious. Yeah. But no, I noticed and it hurt my eyes a little bit. But you're right. I think like watching him put the suit on in Iron Man 1 is epic.
Feels like an event.
So, yeah, exactly. It feels great.
it
And
felt
then-
like the old Batman suit ups.
yeah.
Kind of.
And what I noticed though is, and it's funny because when I was watching it, I was like, fuck, this is the only time you really see the suit properly go on and it's like
You do
all
see a
solid.
little bit in the first Avengers when he's like on that
yeah, and he
walkway
walks down and it
there's-
takes it all off.
Yeah, you get a bit of that, but
Yeah.
it slowly
not
gets
the
stripped. It's not the same.
and
They
then he-
lose that source.
Yeah, and he gets to the point where he like presses a button and it just like materializes around him.
yeah,
I'm like, That's so
it means
boring.
nothing anymore.
Yeah. Suit up was
Because part
so
of the
cool.
the great thing about him is like he built that thing.
Hmm.
You know, it feels mechanical. It feels like only he could wear it. It gets to the point where it feels like anyone can wear a suit. You just press a button and it grows around people.
There
You're
it
like, now
is.
you've got one. Now you've got one.
Yeah. It just exactly it loses its special touch.
And plus, like Iron Man, for being like obviously the fan favorite pinnacle character of the franchise, his movies fucking suck post one.
Yeah, they do.
Like he's got like arguably the worst trilogy out of like.
Iron Man 2 fucking blows.
I have fun with 3.
I kind of
yeah.
like Iron Man 2.
No, I have fun with it. But I'm just, you know what I mean? Like I'm just surprised at how much they mishandled his films.
They wasted Mickey
yeah.
Rourke.
Handle it, for sure.
Yeah, like you think of the other characters and you're like, well, how do they fuck Iron Man's ones?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mickey Rourke's Russian accent gives me the fucking shit.
Gets me like bird.
Where is my bird?
I need my bird.
Yeah, where's my
Mate,
bird?
this is fucking fresh off The Wrestler.
Yeah,
I was
come
like,
on.
no, but I was so excited. I was like, Ricky
Yeah.
Rourke and Iron Man 2, fuck yeah.
Let's go.
And then I was like, oh.
Yeah.
Sam Rockwell stole that movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, it just becomes Justin Hammer. It's like, fuck yeah.
Sam
Like,
Rockwell
yeah.
does all the work. I even felt like fucking Robert Downey Jr. was phoning it in. Like he was like, oh fuck, I'm
100%.
locked into
Yeah,
this
yeah.
for the next 40 years. Better get comfortable. Like,
And you know what? This is going to be a super unpopular opinion.
Here we
I
go.
prefer Terrence Howard over Don Cheadle.
ooh, I do too.
I think he's a better
I do
roadie.
too.
No, honestly, I think he's a better roadie.
Yeah.
There's a better interplay. Don Cheadle is like the safe everyman version that will
Yes.
appeal to all the masses. But like,
You know what? This is also going to be pretty controversial as well. But it felt just kind of like they had like a big Rolodex of African American actors, and they were like, oh yeah, sweet. Don
well, that's the thing.
Cheadle.
You needed someone who's
Like,
going to play second fiddle. You
yeah.
can't get Will Smith.
Nah,
Martin
no.
Lawrence is wrong.
Yeah. Kevin Hart's not going to do it.
Yeah, not yet. No. Well, was he relevant back then? He did Soul Plane, I think.
With Snoop Dogg.
Yeah. I'm just trying to think about where he was in 2008. Yeah.
True. No. Yeah, and that's it. And because like he's like Terrence Howard actually.
He's like feels like a character. Like Rhodey feels like
Yeah.
a character there,
Yeah.
whereas Don Cheadle feels like Don Cheadle. Do you know what I
Correct.
mean? Like yeah.
for sure.
You're very aware that you're watching Don
And
Cheadle.
imagine,
in an Iron Man
imagine
movie.
fucking now Terrence Howard getting
Yeah.
shot by Vision in Civil War and fought like it just have like a whole different feel to it.
Yeah, and like seeing, especially because there's that great little moment when Terrence Howard looks over at the other Iron Man suit. And he's
I'm
like,
getting a suit.
next time, and it's just like,
Never happened.
fuck.
Now he does math.
You kind of get.
That's wrong.
I feel like you kind of get that same recasting effect that you did with Mark Ruffalo. Like just because you
100%.
That's it.
completely lose that origin when he gets built up later on, it just
Doesn't
that
work.
impact-
And
yeah.
see,
Yeah.
that's the thing. And if they had kept Edward Norton in, right,
Yeah,
Robert Downey Jr. isn't the Iron Man we know. Like, as in,
Yeah.
because those two would have been the two like competing forces
Yeah.
for the franchises. So suddenly the Hulk could become like the default leader. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like it's
yeah.
because Edward Norton was of that caliber. That's like think about it. It's
it would have been such a different series.
well, it's as soon as Edward Norton was out. Robert Downey Jr. had no competition. He had early on the scene Chris Hemsworth,
Yeah.
Chris Evans, who was trying to get rid of the Fantastic Four kind of
Yeah.
stuff. Who's the other one? Mark Ruffalo, obviously coming in just trying to do
yeah.
a good Hulk, you know. So it's like he had no one to take the mantle.
Yeah, because it was Thor, Iron Man, Captain America.
There's Black Widow and Hawkeye just on the side.
Yeah, those
Yeah,
side characters.
they
I always
run.
forget like
Yeah.
Hawkeye's in bloody Thor,
Yeah.
and then I'm like, oh yeah,
That's right.
I never realized it was Black
oh, yeah,
Widow
he
in
was.
Iron Man
Yeah.
2 until
No,
like
you always
years
forget.
after.
Actually, just
yeah, and I'm like, that's his introduction. He's
Wait,
like,
is he in the first Thor?
yeah. And you always forget
he's the
that's
watch. He's the sniper over the top of
yeah,
the
at the shield
hammer.
place.
At the hammer.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
when they
Yeah.
find Mjolnir.
yeah, they have like a little
yeah,
5-minute scene, and I was like, who's that dude?
Yeah. Where's Jeremy
And then,
Renner
I,
in
and then I
this?
watched the Avengers. I'm like, well, how 22 years old, where it
There he
fucking
is.
come out? And he's just like, I see better up here. I was like, who's this fucking dude?
Yeah.
Why is he hanging out with all the god people? Like, it was so confusing.
And
And
why
I
is he
was
so good at archery?
I was like, oh, he's like an Avenger. Like, it
Yeah.
took me so long to
Yeah.
get that he's one of the core 6.
See, I reckon it's weird as well because like I feel as though they tried really hard to make Mark Ruffalo like a real staple.
Oh, dude, the Hulk
But-
in the Avengers, like, they nailed it.
Yeah,
Like, he's like
yeah.
the best part of that movie.
Yeah.
And then they didn't know what to do with him. And now he's
then-
so nerfed.
yeah.
Now he's hanging out with his cousin and he's like
Yeah,
got a
it's
son. And it's like, I was
weird.
like, what are you? He was so good.
He was angry and big.
Because I
and
fucking love the
powerful.
Hulk, but it's
Yeah.
like I don't like the MCU Hulk. I
Agreed.
like Mark Ruffalo,
Yeah.
but I don't like him when he's the Hulk because I'm just like, all right.
I also like him at the start of Avengers Age of Ultron because he's still Hulk in that.
Oh
at
yeah,
that
yeah.
point
That's
in
no.
the
He's got some great
franchise.
like when he fights Iron Man and
Yeah,
shit and that.
it's
Like he's got some
sick.
good scenes. But that's the last time he's cool.
Yeah.
Ragnarok's fun, but he's like goofy.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
exactly.
He
Yeah.
gets
He got
yeah.
Taika.
Yeah.
He got Taika Waititi.
100%. And then it's like now he's just getting his ass kicked by everyone. I'm like, oh, yeah, you're fucking like
Shit.
you're the Hulk. That used to be that line where it's like we have a Hulk. That meant something. Now it's
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
But then, in fucking Infinity War, he just gets his ass beat, and then from then on, he's just a
100%.
cuck.
Mm-hmm.
No, but literally he is. I mean, he does get to like click his fingers, and
I mean,
Yeah.
you know, he's
That's
like he was
about it.
made for it, and
Yeah.
we were like, oh wow,
Here we
all
go.
this story development. Like,
Yeah.
I'm
so
glad he's
clever.
been here for how many fucking movies just to finally get some payoff.
Oh, 100%.
Great.
Yeah.
Now,
And they were acting like, ooh, we did it. High fives all around.
nailed it.
Sorry, Iron Man.
Yeah, bringing things back to Iron Man. There was a pretty strong sense of the enemies in this film being this 10 Rings terrorist group, which of course around the time of 2008 was also pretty hot button as to like, you know, we're going to send Tony Stark to Afghanistan to test these crazy Jericho missiles that are just the most insane thing ever. And, you know, he says that whole thing about like, you know, the best weapon is the one you never have to fire. I disagree. The best weapon is the one you have to fire once. And it's like, cool moment, wicked character introduction, and you really get a sense of kind of who Tony Stark is. My thing is, when he's in that cave, and it's like, yeah, they've got all this equipment, and they're like, build us a Jericho missile. I'm kind of like, Tony, like Stark Industries would have this crazy R&D division and all of these resources and these wicked labs and workbenches and stuff, and they're just like, oh, if we kidnap the CEO, he'll know how to build one.
Yeah.
Like, I get he's like a super
it's like
smart
getting
dude.
Steve Jobs at
Yeah.
gunpoint and be like, build me a fucking iPad.
Yeah, build me an iPad. Like, it's just like, I don't know if that's how that
Yeah, he'd be
works.
like, I have so many people working.
Yeah, yeah, like I need a team, like,
Yeah.
you know, not just one Polish
But
dude.
see, and I'll actually, I think you're wrong there, Dan, because if you watch the film, there's a montage,
oh, sorry.
and he does build it
In a
so
week.
he must be able to.
But he doesn't build
Yeah.
the missile.
No, because he actually does a trick.
Ah,
little tomfoolery.
the old bait and switch and build me a missile.
How
Do you know
did
what
they
it-
not know what it was?
Do you know what would have made the
man?
film really fucking fun? If like he just built the missile. Like the story would go in a whole different
They let
direction.
him go?
Then it'd just be him like sweating as they launch it. Like,
Yeah.
what have I done?
He was
I am become death.
he was meant to be gone for like I think it was 3 months or something like that.
The
Or-
timelines
was
were
3
hell.
months.
Yeah, it was
fucky.
like 3 months he was meant to be in that cave building the
They
suit.
fed him well
I'm like,
because he kept his muscle mass.
yeah, and I'm like, and I'm thinking, I'm like, well, how did they not know what it was? They didn't go in there the entire time. They only looked from that one security cam from one angle the entire time. They didn't
Yeah.
see
well, there was
a
the little-
giant suit they're building.
Yeah.
There was the little flap on the door,
The
but
slit.
they hit it
Yeah.
just the way.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, like there's literally like a metal face. I'd be like, this isn't missile related.
Yeah. Yeah. You're watching it. And then he goes ahead and builds his new heart thing. And it's like, the fuck are you doing? Like, you built an arc reactor, like, just casually. Like, you would have wasted so many resources throwing that thing together. Like,
But you know what? I mean, they're terrorists in caves. Are we meant to like think they're smart dudes?
well, and like they kind of articulate that because like they're like, oh, what's he doing? And then he's like looking at the video footage and he just turns around and goes, working. It's like, okay, obviously they don't know like what he's supposed to be doing. But you're right. Like when they like eventually they like bust in there and the main bad guy comes out looking all menacing and shit. And I'm like, and he's even like holding the plans, and Tony was like, oh, I drew them in a way so you have to flatten them out on a table with the light coming up, then you can see the
Brilliant.
plans.
He's so smart.
I was like, fuck, like, you know, I was just like, he's sitting there, and it's like, even if you look at the plans
It doesn't
on
look
individual
like a proper
layers,
plan.
it clear like there's an arm,
and like you
there is
said-
a chest piece.
And
Like,
as you said, you can plan as much as you want. What resources does he actually have? Like, what is he making this from?
well, like the
It
whole
looks like he has an old forge. Like,
yeah, yeah. He's got an anvil out and
Yeah.
a fucking like a one of those weird
I'm like,
sand
what kind
pit-
of piston system are you using to like move everything?
yeah.
Like, explain the technology. I don't know.
Because they're like, you know, oh, okay, like, yeah, we've got all of the Stark Industries stuff in our camp. And I'm like, you're not going to, like, you won't have all the required bits in there. And it's like, look, if you're able to get, and like it's shown later on that Obadiah is clearly feeding them weapons. It's like, just ask for a fucking Jericho missile. Like,
Can I just throw a little tangent out as well?
please.
So, why after one movie, let's not even one movie, the beginning of one movie, did Iron Man think, fuck the flamethrower off, I don't need that again? I would have kept that bad boy. That seemed to work the first time.
Worked a treat.
Yeah, it could have worked again.
Took down a whole camp of dudes.
I'm
with
sure
it.
the aliens in bloody Infinity War wouldn't have liked flames to their face either. Like,
Nah, don't need it. No.
I don't know. It just seems weird that he got rid of it.
Just,
I guess it's a bit more war
He
machine.
replaced
but
it
yeah.
with 2 lasers that he could use once.
maybe it's too like violent Maybe they're like all the
Oh,
flamethrowers.
you know,
are
yeah,
a
that's
little
right.
gnarly.
We're going. Yeah, it did become more Disneyfied,
Yeah,
and they
so
were
it's
like,
like-
maybe we don't burn people.
Yeah, lasers are good because there's no blood. Like cauterize the wound really quickly. Like
Why do you think they bought Star Wars?
Well, there you go. It's easy to just do that nice
But-
and clean.
I mean, maybe you know what, and then maybe going forward we will get it because I mean, people are swearing now. We've got a few
True.
got some f-bombs in the old Marvel Disney films.
There's a lot of blood in Deadpool, to be fair. So
That was specifically.
But it's
going
also
for R,
that
though.
film is such a like we put it over here and it's MCU adjacent. but
Yeah.
it's all connected, but it's not.
it's not.
They're just having a bit of a play
Yeah,
around.
it lives over there. It's really Ryan Reynolds' thing. Because as well, one of the things I kind of picked up on to sort of go along with that, like where's he getting the resources from to build this in his cave? I always think about as well, it's like even when he's at home in his mansion and he's building an Iron Man suit, it's kind of like, well, he's going to have to order the little like rockets and the tank busting rockets and all of the alloy. And it's like, what? Just
The governments are fine with this.
Yeah.
Just to his personal residence.
like the fuel, like this
like,
thing must
come on.
guzzle fuel.
yeah.
And I'm like, how? Like they never. It's always like fuel running low and things. And I'm like,
Now, to be fair, I will play a technicality there. The Iron Man suit doesn't use like fuel as a like
isn't it two-stroke?
yeah. It's got a ripcord to start it up. No, it's just like the repulsors is like it's like light and beam energy kind of propulsion. But when you see Obadiah in the Warmonger, whatever his name is, suit, and he's like, I've made a few upgrades of my own, and then starts to fly, I notice it takes off like an old rocket from the 1970s. It's like,
Because it was built off the designs of the
original
one, which wasn't arc reactor powered. I mean, it was arc reactor powered,
but yeah, see,
yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
But what I was thinking is like the amount of fumes and smoke and force that's coming out of the bottom of that suit was exactly what you said before, which is, where the fuck are they storing all the fuel for this
there's
thing?
just things that I would love to like. The tech head in me is like, how does this work?
Yeah.
Like I would love to know the actual, like give me a 5-minute scene where like what happens if the fuel gets injected through that? And I'm like, oh, that's cool.
Because I get the whole thing with Iron Man being like, oh yeah, I've got this sweet arc reactor and that's powering my suit and all the things like that, and then it has limits. It can run out of charge. Cool, love that. I'm totally on board. But then when Obadiah took off in the way he did, I was like, nah. You'd need so much fucking fuel on board to create that much lift, and the amount of like propulsion and expulsion of smoke, fumes, and jet.
100%.
You'd need a giant tank
With
on
our
your back.
with our current technology, we use a rocket to launch other ships.
Yeah.
So he would have needed like some sort of rocket on him or like
Yeah, that's it. It's like, and they need liquid fuel or gas fuel, and it's like, it just.
But you know what? To be fair, it was also CGI, so let's give it a pass.
Okay, yeah, fair enough. Because that whole fight on the roof, when Iron Man goes all stealth mode after being crushed, and then he shoots flares and it goes all smoky, and he's like sneaking around. He's like, "Oh, Pepper, you should blow this fucking thing up. It's gonna be sick." But then I was like, Tony's still on the roof, and I know he's like, I'll get clear of the roof. But then what you notice is that he's kind of like just ever so gently next to where the giant beam of death light comes out of the giant arc reactor. Obadiah gets fried, and Tony's like, yeah, I'm fine. I'm all good. Just need some makeup before I go on TV. I'm like, okay, there's some...
He got blasted away from it.
Yeah.
Obadiah just stood there and took it. It's like...
Copped it. Yeah,
Okay.
I was just...
He'll be back.
Yeah, I was
He'll
like,
be back. I'll bring him back in Phase 5.
If we're talking about unrealisticness, literally in that first the escape scene, he's coming down from the sky at so fast.
so fast.
Anybody would die from that, and he's in a metal suit as
Yeah.
well. That's not going to cushion the blow. And he
And he
lands on sand. That's not going to cushion the blow
And
either. And he just pops like, ow.
Yeah, and like he doesn't even come in at like an angle and then slide to a stop or like bounce or anything. He just goes into the sand, and then he's like, oh.
That's interesting. So that could be like a little fan theory then, where do you think maybe the whole MCU is just like some sort of like LSD induced kind of like you're dying out in the desert, he's cracked his head in the thing, and he's just imagining what could have been. And that's why it becomes so fantastic.
But Rhodey falls down from that height and he breaks his spine.
Yeah. That's what it's just like.
Yeah, but to be fair, Rhodey's a bitch.
Yeah. And it was Don Cheadle's roadie, so.
Yeah.
You know.
But no, 100. That's a very good point. Although no, he did hit grass, and grass is comparable to sand because of the density of the. Nah,
Was the grass wet?
Possibly. I don't know.
Recently
really break it
aerated. So there's definitely a few kind of blind spots, I reckon. I reckon in this film, but
Which you can attribute it to just being a comic book as a movie.
yeah,
People were still trying to figure out how to do comic book
exactly.
movies back then.
Because what was the budget? Actually, before you Google it, what do we reckon the budget was?
$127 million.
Really?
That's what I think.
That's pretty huge budget for 2008.
Hey, pretty huge movie.
Yeah, it was a very huge movie.
I'll,
Coops,
I'll just say 100 mil flat.
100 mil. I'm gonna. Oh, I already saw it.
Damn.
I already saw it. All right.
What would you
What's your
guess?
guess?
Been
My guess, honestly, it would have been $80 million.
It's 140 million US
Fuck.
dollars.
They
you
went
go.
There we go.
in.
Yeah.
They went in. They were like, let's make some money.
I thought so.
this
Yeah.
was a proper gamble.
What was the budget for the Incredible Hulk?
Oh.
Let's see.
Would
if
have
there
been
was...
similar.
Yeah, you reckon?
No, it would have been similar. I reckon they split 300 million on 2 movies, that kind of thing.
Oh yeah, yeah. Let's have a look.
Fair shout.
Here we go.
150 million.
There you
10
go.
Guess
million
which one
more.
they believed in more.
The original Hulk only had it had 120 for the original Hulk.
For the Eric Bana one.
Oh,
Eric
the good
Bana.
one, yeah.
Wow.
I fucking love. I'm a defender of that film. That is some father son sins
No
of the
way.
father. Like I
They-
love that shit.
True.
They gave Hulk a bigger budget. No, only $2 million less than Captain Marvel.
Holy shit.
What?
Well, that makes
Yeah.
sense. Captain Marvel's just in space.
Yeah. It's
Doesn't need
way
much,
more
yeah.
CGI.
It's basically just a video game cutscene at that point.
Yeah.
Exactly.
You're paying mostly for Jude Law in that film. Yeah.
Jude Law's in fucking Captain Marvel.
Yeah.
Maybe I should watch it. I like Jude Law.
Well, you don't.
Well, I probably need to because I watched the Marvels first and I got fucking confused. I was like, who are these 3 characters?
You watched that?
Nah, I've not seen it.
Okay.
It was a joke for the pod.
Yeah.
Thank God.
Yeah, I haven't seen that either, and I've seen Captain Marvel, and I was just like, shit. Why
I love what they did
make
with her
this
character
movie?
though. Like in Endgame, how she just she's there and then she's not there. It was really fun.
Oh yeah. No, I like how she showed up.
Yeah, no, it's good. It was
She's
like
the
present.
ultimate MacGuffin.
Yeah, it's just nice to have a roster and it's like, oh, there she is.
Yeah.
She was in the credits. Nice.
Oh, there's your Deus
Yeah.
Ex. Yeah, perfect. She just fixes every problem
She
by just
literally
being
is a
ultra
Deus
But
Ex.
you know what?
Yeah.
That's what
Yeah,
makes.
yeah.
But that's what makes her relatable, guys.
Yeah, that's it. Oh, of course. Yeah.
I went to another website and it's changed the budget.
Oh.
Another website's changed the budget. So this website says it was budgeted for 186 million.
That would have been marketing budget.
Yeah,
included.
I was gonna say that sounds
true.
too high. There's
That's
no way
including
the
marketing?
Hulk got 180. Or was that Iron Man or the Hulk?
That was Iron Man. Hulk's one they state here was 137.
Give me some box office numbers. How did they perform?
Iron Man got like 600
Worldwide,
million.
Iron Man was 585 million.
Nice. Good guess.
Hulk was 265 million.
Oh, I wonder why they picked the other one.
Want to guess? Just have a guess of the Avengers budget. Not budget.
Box
Event
office.
box office.
1.1 bill.
Yeah.
1.2 bill.
Yeah. 1.15
bill.
1.15 bill.
It's 1.5.
Oh, there you go.
Oh shit.
And Iron Man 3 only got 250 less than that.
Jesus Christ, that's a lot of
Wow.
fucking blows.
And there was nothing. There was nothing that cracked 1 million, other than up until the next Avengers.
Wait, sorry. Iron Man
shit.
3 cracked $1 billion as well.
Iron Man 3 cracked a bill.
Holy
But
shit.
Yeah,
no,
everything
no
post
one
Avengers.
fucking
Yeah.
talks about it. Holy
Yeah.
shit.
Because it was Iron Man 3 though. That's the thing.
Yeah.
But that's the thing. It's like Iron Man 3. Does anyone talk about it anymore? Occasionally, like defending it and shit. But it's. They're
It
just
was the weird
not-
one.
Yeah, they're just not like as I don't know. It's not that they're not good. Like there's some good stuff in Iron Man 3.
Yeah.
There's some good stuff in Iron Man 2, but it's not a satisfying whole.
Yeah.
So it's hard to return to it as a
Yep.
movie. It's more
Yeah.
like if you're binging them, you're like, oh yeah, I'll watch them. Oh yeah, I haven't seen this in a while.
Because apart from those like side characters and notwithstanding the Hulk, because he clearly didn't get enough love, who do you reckon has the strongest trilogy?
Captain America.
Yeah,
Agreed.
I'd agree.
Like
Captain
it's
America.
not even up for debate.
Yeah, it's just like that is.
You know, like yeah.
fact.
The only thing
Yeah.
I could argue maybe like it's the Spider-Man movie.
I was going
Yeah,
to say
true.
Spider-Man.
Like they're probably the closest in quality,
Spider-Man's
and then
strong.
I would then say like Guardians of the Galaxy 3, but it's a bit like the Guardians of the Galaxy. But then for
Yeah.
me, there's like the second one's not perfect, and
Correct.
the third is polarizing. So it's
Yeah,
like
yeah,
you know?
yeah. No,
I think.
But I'm saying like
Captain
those
America's
three are
good.
probably the ones that I would go. They're the
They're the
most complete
best.
trilogies. Like
Yeah.
they feel like a cohesive trilogy.
because for me, Civil War is just as much an Iron Man film as it is a Captain
It
America film.
it feels like Avengers 2.5
yeah,
Oh,
leading
yeah.
up to
Yeah.
the 3.
because that movie, I reckon, is a movie that even if you don't like Marvel or superhero movies, you should watch because it's
Yeah.
fucking good. Like,
Dude, the last fight in that still like.
Yeah.
I actually find that the most like emotionally resonant
Yeah.
fight. I'm trying to use big words when I should just be simple.
because yeah, no, but that's it though. Like,
wasn't
you can
another
feel
big
it.
bad.
Civil War's grown on me
Yeah.
over the years. Yeah.
It was
Yeah.
it was a psychological enemy for
Well,
that one. It wasn't
yeah.
it wasn't a physical alien enemy. It was just
No.
a human in the mind.
Toying, yeah, exactly. Because I think it was almost a moment where they went back to that Edward Norton Hulk kind of storytelling.
That's
where
what I mean.
Like,
It felt
Ooh.
like it just felt like it had stakes in a different
yes,
kind of way.
Yes, it wasn't just the end of the universe.
I mean,
It
the
was
only
like-
flaw really with Civil War is they set up a character that then they like didn't know what to do with and just got rid of really quick, which would be Black Panther. Because they only kept him around for like one movie and then fucked him off.
Yeah, it's because he died.
Yeah, no.
Chadwick
Yeah.
Boseman. they're not gonna Don Cheadle Black Panther.
No, and I know that.
Kevin Hart.
I know, but no, like I
Yeah.
still reckon they should have kept Black Panther.
Yeah,
They should just recast.
they
like.
should recast Black
Yeah.
Panther.
As in, I thought that was like a disservice to the character.
Yes, I see. Yeah, I see
I
exactly.
did,
what
I
you
did
mean.
think Black Panther 2 was a nice tribute to Chadwick,
really,
but it
like,
would have been nice just
an
to have
impossible
Black
film for an
Panther.
impossible, and he
Yeah.
pretty much nailed it. It's
Yeah.
not a perfect film, but I agree. I actually think that does a lot more right than it does wrong.
Because they kind of passed the mantle to his little sister.
Yeah.
Haven't they?
Yeah.
Which is
Fury.
great, which is like it's so nice, but I always think
Yeah.
like the structural integrity of the narrative of the film, like you should just have recast the character.
Yeah.
In a franchise that has had multiple recasts,
Yeah.
I felt a bit like
People are happy to put their like.
yeah. And Chadwick, don't get me wrong, super sad, awesome
Yeah.
guy, nailed
Yeah.
the character, but it's like, come on, I reckon if Iron Man had died, right? Let's say if Robert Downey Jr. had died after Iron Man 2,
Yeah.
they would have recast the role. Do you know what I mean?
You reckon?
They would have. They wouldn't have just been like, oh, we're just
No,
closing Iron Man.
I don't think so.
Yeah,
I think
true.
No, they would have, like, because they had
It
all
might
these
have been-
plans and shit. They would have been
Yeah.
like,
Or they
it
might
could have been too early into the cinematic universe for them to.
back out.
I wouldn't say back out, but for them to stick with a recast.
True.
maybe.
True.
I guess. I don't know. I just feel like
Yeah.
it's comic book movies. You can recast.
Yeah, you can. There's been like
Do you know what I
11
mean? It's comic book
Spider-Mans.
movies, people. Like,
Yeah.
it's fine.
It's everything's fine.
Yeah.
Because that and like I think part of it was that there was so much news and discussion around Chadwick Boseman and him getting sick and stuff like that it felt probably very insensitive to
Absolutely. That's the tightrope.
recast
Yeah,
him?
I don't.
Yeah.
I feel bad for anyone who has to kind of navigate that. 'cause
Yeah,
it's-
yeah, no, 100%. But you're right though. Like none of these films or franchises are immune to recasting because it happens a lot.
Well, except for one. I will say there's
Hmm.
one character that I wholeheartedly believe was so perfectly cast in the MCU that you could not recast them.
Who?
And that would be Groot, played by Vin Diesel.
Oh,
No one can replace it.
beautiful character.
Oh, iconic.
To be
No one else could have
I
done it.
dare you to recreate that performance.
Yeah, but look, to give him props, all he had to say
He
was
doesn't
one
need props.
word.
He got paid to do that. He's
gotta
been
look
well and truly compensated.
I've got to look up how much he got paid.
Because
I searched how much did Vin Diesel, and the first result was paid to voice Groot.
oh,
It's
good.
listening.
Fuck me, he received $54 million.
There you go. There you go.
That's
That's what I mean. Like he's the real winner of the MCU.
That's sick.
That's for all the films, which equals to about 13 million for each film he voiced Groot, where he only
3
says,
words.
"I am Groot."
That is amazing.
Well, in the first one, it does also say "we are Groot," so
Wow.
it's an extra.
That's
word.
right. They had to get
Wow,
him
he
back in the
said
sound
2
booth for that
more
one. They're like,
words.
fuck, Vin, can we get you back? We actually forgot one of them is a we.
Here's another 10 million.
That's where the Fast and Furious budget came
No,
from.
everyone's like, how do they keep making them? It's like Vin Diesel's privately funding them with
Yeah.
his fucking Groot money. Like,
Everyone has a day job.
exactly.
Holy shit! But like, I think he probably cops a lot of shit because he really like it wouldn't be hard to learn.
Hey Dan,
lines
say
for that
I am
character.
Groot.
I am Groot.
Could have been in the running. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying.
So close. I could have had $54 million. Damn you, Vin Diesel, you sick bastard. But like, Groot surprisingly has a lot of levels. Like there's the sad I am Groot. And
Oh,
then
no,
the happy
definitely.
I am Groot. Like,
And I mean, I think that he recorded for like hours, and there's
I
like
bet.
all these different versions, and he generally did put like cadence on every way.
I'm
So that
sure.
all I'm saying, end result wise,
Yeah, I am Groot.
I feel like you could have
Worth
you
the
could have got him to say it
$13
once,
film.
and you probably could have like manipulated that in some sort of
Totally.
software.
They
100%.
literally manipulate his voice to sound like Child Groot.
Exactly. Like, I love the way they didn't even recut. It's like, let's get a kid in to say I am Groot for $50, and we'll save
Yeah.
like a shitload of money.
That's
here.
there you go. Marvel hates kids and won't employ them.
Yeah,
that's what I've heard. That's
Disney
my hot
hates
take, yeah.
kids.
Clips for the socials. Clip for the socials.
All right, come at me, House of Mouse.
Let's go.
How's our publicist? We got money behind this? Or?
It's Colby. Colby is the publicist. Someone who I want to point out it's a small role, and he's in a shitload of Marvel movies, but I think he's fucking awesome, is Agent Coulson. I like Agent Coulson.
We're talking about Phase 1, though.
Yeah, hard.
Oh,
yeah, 100%.
He's the heart and soul of Phase 1.
He is the heart and soul of Phase 1, and like, I love how kind of quietly he's introduced in this film, because I vaguely remember watching this film and being like,
Oh, in the first one, yeah.
yeah, I was like, oh yeah, cool, he's fine.
He
Slips
just
on the
steps
card,
in the
yeah.
sides
Yeah.
and talks to Pepper, and then
Yeah.
he just says
I need to
these
have a
big
meeting.
mumbo jumbo words, and then leaves. And
That's
then,
it.
And then he comes back one more for his meeting. Like, yeah, come with me, and then that's it.
That's
Yeah,
it.
you got to fix the name. He's
Yeah,
like,
what-
yeah, we're thinking of calling it Shield.
Shield, yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say what was the acronym for Shield? Like, what's the whole?
The Strategic
Homeland,
Office
Intelligence, Logistics Division,
yeah, something
Something
like that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
or Shield.
give it to us, Colby. What is it? What does the Shield acronym stand for?
So listener, Colby.
Supreme Headquarters International Espionage and Law Enforcement Division.
So exactly
Yeah.
what we all collectively
That's
said.
it.
Yeah,
We
right.
said that. We nailed that.
Yeah, I don't- but yeah, no, I 100%. That's a good take because that's another thing. So only him and like Aaron Taylor Johnson, right? Were they like had any as in their deaths were meant to be meant? You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
when he died, it was actually like, oh fuck, like
Yeah.
And then
people
they
can
brought
die.
him back in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
I know, which was a great choice because that show was barely hanging on, and we really needed him.
Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. was good. I like that.
Really,
show.
didn't go for like 8 seasons.
I don't remember. I know there was a few seasons. I only because that was one where we just watched it on TV with mum and dad.
Yeah.
But we stopped watching after the first 3 seasons, maybe, or whatever it was.
Yeah.
Just because we just couldn't.
You just fell off.
Captain America: The Winter Soldier gave that show the biggest fuck you. Like, it's just started trying to build an audience, and then they're like, by the way, S.H.I.E.L.D. was taken over by Hydra, and we're fucking off S.H.I.E.L.D. And that show would have been like,
What? Please.
it's like the
7
whole thing that we're doing.
It went for 7 seasons.
Holy
Wow, there you
shit.
go.
Jesus.
7 seasons.
Wait,
Please
no,
don't.
wait, no way. The last episode was in August 2020.
I'm sorry. What?
Wow.
Yeah.
I do like how the events of that show really tied into the greater storytelling. Like, what were
Does
they
it?
doing?
I've never
Just,
seen
what were they
Agents of
doing? Just
S.H.I.E.L.D.
chasing like little Z grade villains around. What was
does
their show
S.H.I.E.L.D.
about?
do?
Yeah, what is
Yeah.
their show about?
I've forgotten.
So there you
how
hear
good
it,
it
guys.
is.
It was
Like,
one.
yeah.
It was one person that eventually had powers, and it was just trying to find other. I don't. That's weird. Agent Phil Coulson
So
leads a
it's-
team of highly skilled agents from the global law enforcement organization known as S.H.I.E.L.D. Together, they combat extraordinary and inexplicable threats.
Okay.
That's so yeah.
So
So
generic.
broad.
Isn't that just the plot synopsis for half of like the recent Marvel movies?
Yeah.
It's just,
Yeah.
just a
Basically.
bunch of dudes.
It was
coming
done
together.
on ABC.
Yeah, that's right. And they also did a what's in it, Agent Carter as well, I think.
Yeah.
for a couple
Yeah,
of
yeah.
seasons.
That was
But
like,
the only good MCU shows were the fucking Netflix ones, in my opinion.
What? Not She-Hulk?
I haven't seen.
Apologies, ladies and gentlemen. We had a little bit of a technical difficulty there, but we're back on. We left off, I believe, talking about the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and some of the excellent choices that show made, as well as the
it went to Agent Carter.
went to Agent Carter. I just wanted to pick up on the fact that that around the same time as that show's coming out, they decided to put the Marvel version of Nazis in charge of S.H.I.E.L.D. and that's a fucking bold choice, because I think Captain America and the Winter Soldier is actually it's a good movie.
It's just as a film by itself, great film.
Yeah,
like I reckon it
works.
holds up. Like I've watched it a few times.
Yeah, I think everyone's pretty much recognized that. Yeah, that's one of the best in the MCU.
Yeah.
Apart from maybe the the actual Infinity movies. or-
Yeah.
Yeah, see, I reckon like the Infinity War and Endgame are like you can be argued that they're better in the sense that they mean so much more. They're epic. They're just like super fun things.
Yeah.
But I reckon Winter Soldier is like the best made film in the MCU.
Yeah.
As in
Yeah.
like just as a film. Like that scene with Sammy J
Yeah.
You know, when he's like in the car and I'm like, that's just a great action sequence.
Yes.
And it's
so
tangible
good.
and it's like real cars and shit
Yeah.
blowing up. It's not CGI. It's like,
Yeah,
it's
that's
good.
it. It felt
It's exciting. Like
legit.
it's still to this day. I'm like, this is good filmmaking.
Yeah.
Like,
And- go ahead.
I was gonna say, who's the it was a duo that directed both
Oh yeah.
the Captain America movies and
Russo brothers?
The Russo brothers. Yeah.
Yeah.
Have they done anything post Endgame?
Well, they're bringing him back
Yeah,
now
they're going
because-
to do Doomsday.
Yeah, just
Yeah.
because the fucking franchise is in the toilet at the moment.
Well, okay, actually, we are talking about Iron Man, so that's a very good thing to talk about. They're bringing Iron Man back.
Yeah, RDJ back.
Yeah, as Doomsday.
Doom.
Yeah.
Which is a pretty
Doom,
bold
sorry.
choice because it feels very much so like, okay, we've kind of lost our handle on this. We need to bring back RDJ.
exactly
and the
what it
Russo
is. It
It
brothers.
is exactly it.
And, you know, and like, I love them for it.
Yeah,
I actually
yeah.
think, no, because it's like, I want to see that because that's going to go one of two ways and I'll enjoy both.
Yeah, it's the most epic Hail Mary.
Like, it's either going to be what we fear it will be and like, you fucked up and it's
Yeah.
going to be amazing and we're all going to remember it and we're going to talk about it for years.
the biggest blow up.
Or they'll land it and we'll go, genius,
Yeah.
oh, the second coming. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's back. He's back.
Yeah, Joe and Anthony, they were the first ones to do the first directors to direct 3 MCU projects, and they're the only ones to direct 4, 5, and 6 films.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, what else? Because we're talking about Iron Man 1, where Jon Favreau directed it. What else did Jon Favreau direct in the MCU?
Iron Man
don't,
2.
I don't,
Ooh.
I
That's
don't
it.
think he directed much
Really?
other than Iron Man.
No, he just did Iron Man 2, and then he and this is a true story. So this is actual facts, Colby. I'm not making shit
Yeah.
up. So he did Iron Man 2. He was actually like forced by the studio to put in like Black Widow, all these little breadcrumbs for like the expanded universe.
Yep.
And the whole reason that it doesn't really make sense, where it's kind of like Iron Man 2 comes so soon after Avengers and
Yeah.
things, is because the first one was so successful. Robert Downey Jr. It was becoming a thing.
Yeah.
So like we're going to use that, and that was kind of like their prototype Civil War, where they were trying to cram a bunch of shit in.
Yeah.
Jon Favreau got so fucking frustrated that he left. So he could have come back
Yeah.
to do like something else, but he was like, nah, I can't work like this. I
Yeah.
do it a different way. And then he made that film Chef.
Yeah.
And Chef is literally like an allegory for his frustration with like this. So when he's in the restaurant and he's having the whole like, you got to let me do my thing.
Yeah.
That's him venting because he just come off Iron Man 2. And it was kind of him being like, this is what I went through. And then when he went back off and he did his indies thing, which is him cooking in the van,
Yeah.
then he's like, this is what I am. This is how I need to be. And like,
And now he's doing Star Wars
so
stuff.
watch Chef
Yeah.
after Iron Man 2. That's a nice little companion piece.
Copy that. That's a nice little tidbit.
It also has Robert Downey Jr. in it,
Hey.
who, if you didn't know, played Iron Man. And that's what we're talking about.
Whoa! Full circle.
Yeah.
Maybe that one can go on the wheel.
Because I like Jon Favreau. I think I love him as Happy. I think he's really quite fun as a character in those
He's
films.
surprisingly fucking stuck around, man. I mean, he's in
Yeah.
that Deadpool Wolverine.
Yeah.
Like, I'm like, Happy's still going,
Yeah,
which is bizarre.
Absolutely, and like he's just this normal dude. Like he's the head of security for.
And I think it's
staff,
just like a
but-
respectful nod at the fact that he launched the MCU,
Yeah.
so they keep him around.
Yeah, that's it. He's
also a
kind
fan favorite.
Yeah, but he's in a weird way. It's kind of like now that they don't have Stan Lee anymore, R.I.P. They're like, okay, we need to pay homage to the people that are like carrying his legacy kind of forward. And Jon Favreau is undoubtedly one of those people that has like contributed so
Well,
much
when you
to
think
Marvel.
Iron Man, what
Yeah.
name comes to mind?
Robert Downey Jr.
Okay, so that's not going to work.
Yeah.
But when you think Iron Man director, what name comes to
Or
mind?
John Favreau.
Well, there you go. He'll
Yeah.
always be synonymous with the brand.
Exactly.
I never knew he was the one that directed it until years afterwards when I actually looked at it. I'm like, oh, that he directed
John
it?
Favreau.
I know it's great, and that's the thing
Yeah.
is like people don't, because I mean, look, we all make films ourselves, so we kind of have a generalized understanding.
Yeah.
Obviously, we're just little pond,
That's it.
but
Gotta
Iron
start
Man
somewhere.
could have like there's 9 ways out of 10 that film could have fucked up.
Yeah.
And to give him credit, like that fits quite nicely in the MCU. Like it's a
does.
good film. It's
Yeah.
a lot of the MCU stemmed from it. You can see all the the foundation. It's like he
Yeah.
landed that plane, and that film was like made up on the spot for large chunks of it. They didn't have like a complete script.
Really?
Yeah, they were riffing. Jeff Bridges, when he got there, he was like, "Man, this feels like a really expensive student film."
Wow.
Because like RDJ was just fucking improving and
let
doing
him
stuff.
go.
And yeah, because that's how Favreau worked. He's made like swingers and a bunch of like indies.
Yeah.
And he's like, this is what I do. He's like, I just got bigger toys to play with.
Especially compared to the rest of the MCU, it does feel more like an indie film.
Dude, it feels
Yeah.
directed. It actually feels
Yeah.
directed. Like the sequences where you're like, oh, that's fun.
Yeah.
Like, you know the iconic, like having the camera inside the helmet so you can see Robert
Yeah.
Downey
Yeah.
Jr.'s face.
Yeah.
That was a Jon Favreau choice. Like he created that.
Really?
Think about it. We could have easily had every time you see Iron Man, it's just from the outside in the
suit.
suit. You never
Yeah.
got that in the So little things like that. That's a directing choice where he's like, well, I'm going to lose the performance if we're just looking at a CGI character. So he's like, let's bring it in and let's. So he created the camera rig. And,
to be fair, that was the thing that kind of saved Jeff Bridges because there were shots inside Jeff Bridges' helmet as well as
exactly.
Robert
Like think of
Downey
it. It would have
Jr.'s,
just he would have been like, bye, Jeff.
Yeah,
Thank you.
see
That's
ya.
a wrap on
Yeah,
Jeff.
we just need you in the VO booth afterwards.
And how, you
that's
know what's
it.
crazy? Jeff Bridges is still probably one of the most high-profile actors
Yeah.
in the MCU, and he fucking came out first, so we
Yeah.
all forgot about him.
That's it.
But he peaked so early,
Peaked too early.
and he could have played some amazing characters in the MCU, but
Yeah.
they were like, "Well, this is the one we have to go with for now."
Because like I feel as though it would have been wicked to see him as like a big bad. Like
Let's all say it on the count of three who he should have played. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Ant-Man.
Thanos.
Yeah.
Oh. Seriously though, Jeff Bridges as Thanos would have
Dude,
been
he would have been
fucking
amazing.
That would have been
epic.
so
He would have been amazing.
Josh Brolin did an incredible job, not taking anything away from his performance. It's really, really good.
For sure.
But Jeff Bridges would have been incredible. But the thing is with Jeff Bridges as well is like he's great pretty much in everything he's in, but he's been in some shit movies. He's been in some
R.I.P.D..
R.I.P.D. is the biggest waste.
Whoa! No.
Yeah.
I'm not a defender of that.
Hang on a minute.
He's kind of got a bit of a Christopher Lee syndrome in that way.
Yeah,
Just,
yeah.
You know, a renowned actor working in some absolute dog shit on the side.
Yeah.
But that's the thing, like, I think even, you know what, funny enough, Christopher Lee even said this, I believe, where he was like, you can't be you can't always be in a good movie, but you can choose to never be bad in a movie.
Yeah.
And he was like,
a good
and he goes, that's
attitude.
your job as an actor. So he's like,
Yeah.
he goes, as long as you escape every film as everyone's like, no, he was good in that, he didn't,
Yeah.
then you're fine, because that's all you can do.
That's it.
I like that.
That's a great way of looking at it because I think like there have been a lot of actors who get a bad film and kind of like their career takes a huge dive afterwards and they kind of blame the film, but it's like you can still shine in something shit and people can go, nah, he's actually super talented, we should put him in.
Like
in
Jared
something
Leto
else.
could have made the Joker work. Do you know what I mean? He chose not to, but he chose not to. Like, and that's on him.
Oh,
He should have
man.
just stuck 30 seconds to Mars, man.
Oh, that was such a bad choice.
Damaged.
That damaged
I wonder
me.
if he's damaged.
Oh, I'm almost certain he is.
Jared, I think like as a person, he's doing all right, man. He's
Oh,
what,
yeah,
50,
yeah.
climbing mountains and shit. I was
He's
like,
having
this
a
guy
good
seems
time.
all right.
Yeah.
As an actor, I'm like, just don't believe your own legend too much.
But he's kind of good in some other. Like I thought
That's
he
what I'm
was
saying. He
good
won
in
an
Blade
Oscar.
Runner.
He won an Oscar. He's pretty decent in some other
yeah.
shit, and now he's an Oscar winner.
Yeah.
So he can go to a director, go, I think I know. We'll trust my instincts. He's like, I think the Joker would do this,
Yeah.
and then they're like, oh, just because based on the source material,
Yeah.
probably wouldn't.
I think he would have a purple Ferrari. Okay?
Actually, I forgot Zack Snyder directed him. Those two together was a
Yeah,
recipe.
that was a bad choice.
You know how you guys were talking about the MCU potentially being this dark and gritty universe? We kind of saw that play out in Zack Snyder's DCU.
Yeah.
That's true.
It's kind of like the dark ending.
The dark MCU.
What are you talking about? The fun scene when like Henry Cavill jumps into the bath with what's her name? Aren't we having fun in this movie? Look how fun and loose everyone is. Like,
Yeah.
no, I agree. Like that's like there's just no joy in those films. Even the sex scenes are like awkward. It's like a brother and
Yeah.
a sister sharing a bath, and you're like, okay.
And like, how do you make the Joker not funny? Like,
Oh,
he has to be
have you
witty
seen the
and
Snyder cut
quippy.
for Justice League?
I don't want to.
Where he's like, I'll give you a reach around. I was like, oh,
yeah.
edgy. There you go, 15-year-olds. Like,
fucking swings.
giving Batman a fucking wristy. That's good stuff.
Because that's what I wanted to see.
Where's the extended cut?
Oh fuck! No one wants to watch that. Oh, how does he keep getting jobs?
Fuck
Like,
knows.
I feel as though he
Obvious.
made 300, and everyone was like, "Man, that movie was awesome." And
But that's
it
the
is.
thing. 300 was awesome.
Yeah.
Fucking Watchmen. I like
Yeah, I
Watchmen.
like
I'm a
Watchmen as
Watchmen
well.
defender. I think
Yeah.
Watchmen's fun. Like it's.
I like Watchmen.
I don't care if it wasn't adapted, but I've never read the comic.
Yeah.
But and that's the thing. He did that, and also, sorry, Dawn of the Dead, man, the original,
Yeah.
fucking fun.
Good movie.
So he came out swinging, and then he started making like Hours of Gahul and fucking all the,
It's like the opposite
Sucker
of Jon
Punch.
Favreau. It's like he got like Jon Favreau like kind of got the toys and then maintained his style.
Well-
but Zack Snyder got all the money and was like, all right, how do I be a bad Michael Bay? And Michael Bay's already pretty bad.
I remember after Batman v Superman, people were starting to call him the D-list Chris Nolan.
Yeah, that's it.
But
that's what it feels like.
But that's Zack Snyder, man. He is like a great visual storyteller. Like I actually think, like visually, he's generally one of the best. But the problem is, he's like a painter painting an awesome picture of something, and then they're like, "Tell me a story about it," and he's like, "Oh, and then they had the swords, and then they fought, and it was cool." Because he's like, he makes shit. He's like Michael Bay. Like he makes stuff for 15-year-olds.
Yeah.
Which is awesome. It's a massive audience, but it's like Michael Bay has the courage to be craptastic. Like he's like, I make it for kids. It is for kids. Like,
Michael Bay is very upfront about it, whereas
Zack Snyder's like, dude, this is art.
Yeah.
And I'm like, no, you're just making a fun film. Like, and it can be fun. They can smile, man. They can smile.
Let's have some fun with it.
Yeah.
Relax a bit.
He's Superman. He's flying around. He's having a good time.
Because it's this whole rebel moon nonsense and
oh my god, Rebel Moon.
It's just like, fuck, why? Like, you have all of the toys and you can do anything you want, and you chose to make such a heartless. And he gets really good actors to work with him too.
Yeah.
Like Anthony Hopkins and shit. Like, you've got world-class quality actors that can deliver dialogue like no one else in the industry. And you decide to make just such a shitty, kind of weird, boring, and like, and that's another thing. I'd never expect to be bored watching a Zack Snyder film because of like, you watch 300, you're not bored at any point in that film. You're either like a little bit horny because there's some super hot girls walking around without any clothes on. You're either super excited because dudes are just out there ripped and they got.
I think you
shields.
got those two sentences back to front.
Sorry, you're right. Yeah. Look, I had a mad chubby for Leonidas who didn't, and it was sick and it was fun. It was entertaining and. It was still dark and gritty and all like, moody and
that's
shit,
the thing.
but it was still fun.
And the thing is, because he had to earn it. Like he was still like hungry for like,
Yeah.
I can do this. I'm a director. Let me,
Yeah.
And then he became once you believe your own legend.
Yeah.
Then you kind of like, no one can tell you making the wrong creative choices. You're no longer collaborating. It's all on you. And that's why Rebel Moon is all on Zack.
Yeah.
Like I don't think anyone's looking at the grip like, you fucked this up, Stanley.
The lighting in this is fucking
it's
terrible
like-
and it's your fault.
Like he very much was like, this is my world. Come to it. And I went, no, thank you.
Yeah, I'd rather not.
And I did. I watched those back to back, the director's cuts.
Did you watch the originals as well?
No. I've only seen it in the I waited because I was like, that'll be better. Director's cuts are always better because I'm a purist. And I sat there and I was like, holy shit, 2.5 hours of this second movie is about grain.
Yeah.
Like it's all about grain. And I was just like, that's too much for a movie.
Too much grain.
This is usually like a 10-minute montage.
Even people who like grain don't like this.
Just Digimon Hussein. Sorry, I've definitely said it wrong.
Yeah.
But him just like sweaty and smiling and like, with grain. And I'm just like, isn't this like Seven Samurai in space? What's with the grain? That movie is making me feel upset now.
No, I am right there with you because I remember watching it when it came because I was excited for it. I was like, oh, whoa, Zack Snyder's wanting to like be like, all right, cool. Disney's not really doing.
Well, he
the
pitched
thing.
it. He pitched it as a Star Wars film, and they knocked him back. And he's like, "Fuck you, I'll do it myself."
Yeah, that's it. And I was like, "Oh, cool. He's gonna do something cool and new with it," and then just fucking made a giant fucking pile of shit.
But you know what? Now the beautiful thing is, we'll always have those two films to ignore.
That's it. And we have, and the beauty of it is we can stack it up against films like Iron Man and just go, "I'm so glad Iron Man exists," because it just goes to show that with like true care and passion around the character and a real eye for detail and like someone who's willing to have some fun with the fantasy, because that's what I want from any sort of sci-fi or fantasy film is I want it to be fucking fun.
Well, Colby, you just watched the Terminator films. They are pretty serious. Take the world like they're fucking fun, eh?
Yeah.
And it's like, and yet they're not like silly winking at the audience kind of fun, but they're just like
they have their moments.
Yeah. Like you watch the T-1000 whatever when he stabs them, like you're having a good time, and it's like technically it's fucked
even
up.
like you're like even when they're having that downtime of teaching the Terminator how to smile, even just the way he does it. That's funny, but it's done in a serious way.
You're not taking it out of
later.
Yeah,
exactly.
You're not
also,
taking it out of the
when's
experience.
Arnie going to get in the MCU?
Oh, he doesn't have it. I think he should just find a nice place to go smoke cigars and lift weights and Just hang out. He's done.
But we need that acting prowess. Like. But imagine him like Captain America. Like,
Good to see you.
who would he play? Like,
Who would he? Who would he?
who would Arnold play?
I reckon he'd make a good villain.
Oh, he'd have to play a villain.
Yeah.
Do you know what?
Get him to reprise his role as Mr. Freeze.
Yeah, they should just bring. You know
Ice
what? They should just
Age.
bring Mr. Freeze into the MCU for no other reason than to cast him. Hey, Spider-Man,
suit.
what killed the dinosaur?
The Ice Age. And it didn't.
Yeah,
It wasn't the Ice Age.
I just pulled up this random CBR article. Arnold Schwarzenegger has one simple but major requirement to join the MCU.
What is it?
Get
to the chopper.
What, pay me?
Last summer, reports surfaced Schwarzenegger was being considered to play Titanium Man in the MCU.
I
You know
can
what?
see that.
I know Titanium Man, and I have no idea. Who's Titanium Man?
It's
Called?
X-Men.
Oh, really? Oh,
Yeah.
do you mean Colossus?
Isn't that Titanium? Or is there another one whose
I am
powers are
Titanium.
exactly?
Or is
That's
this
the
like
one.
the sequel?
That's what he'll
to,
play when he comes out.
Is this like the sequel to Iron Man? You know, and then you got Copper
Oh,
Man.
I like that. So it's about instead of a billionaire though, now it's a fucking guy who's got like food coupons,
Oh.
and he makes his titanium
I will
suit.
build
and
a
it's
suit.
Yeah, here it goes. It said his one requirement is if the role is right.
Oh, fuck off.
Yeah.
That's not a
That's
requirement.
a
No, can I just
cop-out.
say, like, journalism is so good these days.
So
This actor
shit.
said like this amazing quote, and then you click on it, and it's like, if it's right.
Yeah. What the fuck?
If I'm good for the role, I do it.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
What a take.
Give them a Peabody.
Yeah. Because it's just the biggest nut. Like, if you put a shit role in front of a good actor, of course they're going to say no.
Actually, speaking of journalism and Iron Man 1,
Ooh.
what's her name? Like Bibi Piper or whatever, the blonde journalist that he beds, that
Yeah.
then Pepper gets rid of.
Yeah.
So, fun fact, do you know that she's actually the wife of Sam Rockwell, who plays Justin Hammer, the secondary villain in
the
Iron Man 2?
sequel?
Yeah.
No
It's
shit.
a bit of fun, yeah.
There
She does a
you
little
go.
cameo in that second one as
How
well.
about that?
Little
There you go,
tidbit.
yeah.
I actually bring things right back to Iron Man 1, particularly her character. I thought it was very, very strange how like hostile she was acting towards Tony when they kind of first interacted, and Tony just kept kind of like brushing her question aside and just being like, "You want to fuck? You want to fuck?
You thought that was
You want to
strange.
fuck?" I was like,
You thought that was strange that she's being hostile. She's a journalist and he's like a war profiteering arms dealer.
yeah, but like the part that really threw me is she was like getting up on her high horse, and he
I
was
think-
just like, "Do you want to fuck?"
Yeah,
and then
'cause-
she's like, "Yeah, okay."
Yeah, fuck it, why not?
So,
But I mean, think of like you got all these ideology, right? And
Yeah.
you're sitting there and you want to tell this person, you're like, who's like, pick a female celebrity who's attractive.
okay, what's her name?
I don't know,
Leslie Bibb.
Oh, Leslie Bibb. Okay.
Yeah.
So
she's cute.
okay, so Leslie Bibb, you're there, but you also want to talk to her about global warming because
Yeah.
you're feeling like,
But
and
she's
you're like,
gonna-
hey, and she's like, want to fuck? You want to like?
Yeah.
Oh, but okay.
Yeah. Let's get that out of the
Yeah,
way.
I think so. I think that goes the same way for like RDJ.
Yeah.
You know, he's billionaire swag.
Yeah.
There is a bit of a quid pro quo going on.
Yeah, there's some
Yeah.
chemistry. I mean, they should have fucked off Pepper, kept her around for a while. Because I don't like Pepper Potts. I'll say it.
Okay.
I think their fucking relationship is dumb.
Yeah.
They break up and get back together.
They
At
do.
one point, she's a superhero, then she isn't.
It's because Gwyneth Paltrow
But then she is in
couldn't make it.
No, I get it. But like, I think she's fine as an actress. I fucking hate the character of Pepper Potts in the MCU.
The character in the early days was not but too bad. It was okay. As like the assistant with
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, yeah, definitely. When she knew her
when it got
place.
further on, it's like
I'm just kidding.
It's a joke, people. It's a joke.
But no, yeah, no.
Before she was CEO.
Yeah, no, exactly.
Yeah.
Before she, because
Yeah.
it didn't fit right. And
The
then
dynamic was.
and then in
right.
Civil
no,
War,
she
he's like
stepped
me.
down
And,
as CEO. She stepped down in the same movie.
yeah, and then she's in like
that's
Iron Man
right.
Homecoming for a second, but then like in Civil War, they're like, oh, we broke up, and it's nobody's fault.
Yeah.
And then they're together again, and she's like, I think we're gonna have a baby, and it's like,
Doesn't she
what is
rock-
happening?
Doesn't she rock up in Endgame as well in a suit?
Yeah, and then she's a superhero again.
Yeah.
That's what I mean. In Iron Man 3.
She rocks up in the suit that Tony built for her as like an anniversary present. or
That's
something like
right.
that.
Yeah.
That's,
And why are you building your wife as a weapon for?
And not everyone has to go to the big battle against the aliens. Not everyone. Only the ones who are
No, but
fighting all
here's
the
the
time.
thing.
Technically speaking, only Captain Marvel had to go because she.
Yeah, exactly. Dude, she
one.
take out.
That's something that always confused me. Is like that was meant to be a secret thing. She didn't know. She wasn't meant to know about it yet because it's a present that he was making for her. How did she all automatically know how to use it? And it's like
Super
did
competent.
Strange just get a pause like here, get in the suit. What suit? Oh, just get in it and come over here.
Jarvis trained
the
her.
only bit of credit I can actually give her, Iron Man 3, she does use the gauntlet for a little bit. So
Wow,
she
a
does-
gauntlet where she fires a single blast.
That's the only bit of credit I can give.
I'll take it.
But no, 100%. And that's the thing where it's like, Yeah, it's just her character. I think is one of the worst relationships in the MCU.
Yeah. No,
Like,
I
it just
can see
drives me
that.
nuts because it's like every movie they just change what they're doing, like the parameters of their relationship.
Gwyneth Paltrow kind of just annoys me as a person.
Have you
anyway.
seen her goop
Oh,
stuff?
yeah, I was gonna say,
Goop
She
is so
she
weird.
has the candle. Do you know about the candle?
Yeah, the candle that has
Smells like her vagina.
Her vagina smell candle.
Why? Why is that? Was it medicinal?
No, it's just a candle that apparently is
Smells like a vagina.
Yeah, Google it.
Yeah,
Gwyneth Paltrow Goob vagina scented candle.
So I don't
I
like.
don't think I need to.
It's a bold product.
So I'm not a gynecologist, but I would argue they'd say don't have that smell.
Yeah, just
Like,
Yeah.
I don't
my
know.
God.
Yeah, I don't know what.
What's your intuition telling you there, Scott?
I'm saying I don't need to smell someone's vagina while I'm trying
she
to
has
relax.
a new candle. Hands off my vagina.
okay. So at first we're smelling it, now we're not smelling it, but it just feels weird. Like if I came out with a
Wow.
dick flavored candle, it'd be like,
Oh, it'd sell.
I mean, I'd buy 100, but that's a different topic.
okay, cool, sweet.
But that's just, we're all just trying to
do that
support.
now.
We're trying to support the pod.
Yeah.
And by the way, listener, if you would like to buy a candle,
It
just
smells like my dick.
just click on the link that you'll find attached to this videoless audio file.
We have to make a fake website now that I sell dick candles from for like $40 a candle.
What are we calling the candle? One more shot?
Oh no, call it
One more
fucking-
back
call
shot.
it call it like Dan's Dick and Wick or
Dan's
something.
Dick and Wick. Sit back and relax and enjoy a bit of Dick and Wick. Oh, ladies and gentlemen, I think that about sums it up. We've talked Iron Man. We went on a bit of a fucking aggressive tangent against Mr. Zack Snyder. Zack, if you're listening, come on, man.
Yeah,
I
like
know you've
hire
got it
us.
in ya.
Hire us. I'll
Yeah.
make fucking before. What's it called? Not Before Dawn. What was I?
300?
Rebel Moon. I'll make Rebel Moon 3.
Yeah.
If you hire me,
Let's go.
I'll sell out. I'll take back everything I said.
I'm with Scott. I will also work on Rebel Moon 3. But that takes us to one of the most epic parts of the podcast, and that's picking what we're going to watch next time. Now, normally, we write down, we will pick a film, we chuck it on the board, and we spin the wheel. This week, we're going to do it a little bit differently. We've put our initials onto each panel of the spinning wheel, and that means if it lands on your initials, you get to pick the film. So I'm going to give everybody maybe 10, 15 seconds now. Just get a film in your head. And when it lands on your name, that'll be the one you say. So I'm going to start the time. Start thinking of films. What are we going to do? What are we going to watch?
I got mine.
You think? Okay,
It's
got
a
it.
throwback one.
Colby's got his. We're not saying them out loud. We'll say them out loud when we get them.
Mhm.
But it's got to be your initials. All right, everyone got a film?
I've got a film.
You got a film?
I've got
You
a
got a
film.
film? All right.
Okay.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Do we want to say what other ones are first, or
Actually, that's a good idea.
Yeah.
Should we do that? Yeah, let's.
yeah,
let's
and then
And then we'll
Let's-
see who gets to.
then we'll see who gets to do it. All right, Colby, what are we working with?
I'm going back to a throwback to the first podcast we did, not of this, but of the original one.
Okay.
Mr. Megorium's Wonder Emporium.
Mr. Megorium's Wonder Emporium. Coop.
Batman Forever.
Batman Forever.
Forever.
Excellent
Second
choice.
Batman choice.
Scott, what do you got?
The Rules of Attraction.
I have to Google search what that.
So no, but this is Sean Bateman, who is Patrick Bateman's little brother. It's a film about him. So if you guys like American Psycho, you'll like this
too?
film.
Really?
Yeah, it's a fucking great film. I'm gonna open your eyes to some shit.
Rules of Attraction, please
Keen.
do. And I'm gonna throw a bit of a curveball in there. I'm gonna do. I think it'd be the first sports movie that we've ever watched.
I
on
love
the
sports
podcast.
ball.
Grind
Grind.
is an old skate
Oh,
movie
shit.
where Bam
I know
Margera
Grind. I know
plays
Grind.
himself.
I remember Grind.
Yeah,
2002.
yeah, good movie.
Also 2002.
Grind movies.
All right,
Is that watchable anywhere?
are we? Oh, look.
Oh, you can go
you'll
on
find
YouTube
it.
movies. You can
Yeah.
find
Okay.
Is everybody ready?
Yeah,
Yes.
let's do it.
Let's spin the wheel.
Daniel Court.
We're watching Grind. Get excited, skaters. Oh, ladies and gentlemen, I'm so excited. I haven't seen Grind in ages. I'm keen to watch it. That's why it popped into my head. So, look, if you're following along at home, watch Grind. And on the next pod, we'll have a chat and you get to hear our thoughts about all things Bam Margera. Get excited. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us. Colby, Scott, Cooper, as always, it's a pleasure to have chats with you boys. Follow us on Instagram. Check us out on YouTube. Happy listening. Love you all very much. We're out. Ciao.